One of the greatest myths in doing your inner work is that one day you're going to do all your trauma work and you're never going to be triggered, you're never going to react, and you're never ever going to have to deal with any negative emotions again. That is a lie. And today, what I want to break down is how to actually move past beyond so that you're not doing all your inner work for eternity, but rather living the work. So, if you're wondering, how do you move beyond the inner work and the trauma work and start living the work, you definitely want to listen and watch this podcast. Welcome to the Dr. Erin Show. May you live your truth. Hi, Divine Loves. Dr. E here, Dr. Divinity and Master Spiritual Coach, founder of Spiritual Psychology School and Soulciété, the spiritual growth community. Oh my gosh, we are on one of the final episodes of the E4 method series. So today I want to break on down living E4 method, a daily practice. So before we dive into that, I want to recap some of the stuff we went over and the intention for really this chapter and this section on what it means to be doing your inner work for the rest of your life. And there's a myth, right? There's a myth that one day you are going to do all your trauma work and all your inner work, and therefore you'd never have another trigger, you'd never be reactive in life, and you're going to be some enlightened being walking around, which is great. However, we do not want people doing their inner work forever and beating the dead horse, if you will, with their inner trauma work. But what we also know is that we are in a human consciousness with the collective consciousness, and the collective consciousness has not necessarily done all their inner work, and we're one in consciousness. So the only way we're going to really live in an enlightened state, if you will, is by having a massive daily spiritual practice. So today I want to talk to you a little bit about what happens after you do your deep work of E4 and you heal your past doing your current life regressions and your past life ancestral regressions, after you empower your present with doing your emotional mastery and your energy mastery. And how do you manifest your future highest self through E4 quantum manifesting? And what we're going to go over today, which is living the E4. So I'll never forget years ago when I was becoming a practitioner myself, and I had done a lot of my own regression work through developing E4, a lot of past lives. I'd really began to experience full enlightenment and revelation of how I was one with everything and realizing that I created all of it, my limitations, my false identity, my limited beliefs. And it was so profound. And yet there was this kind of like torture in it because I still was doing some things like complaining, right? Or focusing on what was negative out there in the world, or still reacting at some level. And I'll never forget. It was one morning and I was working on my computer and I was kind of like frustrated. And I had this, mental chatter going on. And I was like, I stopped everything and I was like, I almost like closed the computer and I was like, really? Okay, Erin, if we're going to do this, are you really going to be a practitioner or not? This is where the rubber meets the road. You know you're creating this, and it's a conscious choice to create something new, right? So in that divine moment, I made a massive commitment to live this work. It wasn't like I needed to go back and do more regression work. I had completed those cycles. But what I needed to do was get in the habit of creating what I wanted to create instead of what I didn't want to create. And so that's the deal. Many lifetimes we go through and we have traumas and we have all these patternings and all this false belief. So you'll hear it a lot in the industry, regulating your nervous system, right? We have patterns that we've made over lifetimes. And the issue with the industry, as far as I'm concerned, is that when people are just always regulating their nervous system, they're not getting to the source and the cause that is fragmenting and making their nervous system get interbulated and have anxiety and all the stress that it causes. So when we're doing the E4 regression work and all that, we're handling the cause of it, the stuff that's the big boulders that are just on automation all the time, creating the nervous system to be really interbulated, creating the fight and flight, system to go into sympathetic and parasympathetic, constantly battling all the time. So once we've done that work and we've gotten to empower in the present and begin to manifest the future self, we still have to create habits to reprogram the system, to reprogram what you're used to and your habits of how you think, what you energize, and really repatterning the entire neurological system. So I want to leave you today basically having some tools to deal with your daily spiritual practice beyond E4, all the deep, deep work. And one of the main things we promote our clients and students to do is have a morning and evening spiritual practice. This again includes the same thing that we would do in an E4, which is we're going to get into a theta state, doing some breath work, heart rate variability, and coherence so that we can calm down the nervous system and really get into the 0 point within. And what I also recommend for people is to overlook and look again at their life's manual. This is one of the processes that we do to really help people birth their truth and get in alignment with their core values. So I actually recommend reading that or at least looking at it briefly in the morning and the evening, reflecting, taking inventory, and in the morning, really setting the intention and visualizing how you want your day to go that's in alignment with the highest vision for yourself and your life. And in the evening, yes, taking inventory, making amends to yourself and to others through the universe, really taking responsibility and acknowledging where you did align and celebrating that within yourself, and also really making amends for where you were out of alignment of spiritual law and your relative core values and things like that. Because we have to remember that the core work that we're doing with E4 is becoming sovereign. And what does that mean again? That means that we don't place our power over to the external world, over to people, places, and things. We want to become somebody that is the creator and not reacting or responding just to life, but taking that deep breath each and every moment in the day when something happens and asking, what do I want to choose to create out of this? And when we've done that deep inner work, it's much easier to be at free will instead of just on automation from deep traumas in our system. So again, being sovereign is taking 100% responsibility for what we're creating, our energy and our emotions. And that doesn't mean controlling people, places, or things. That means really looking at how we're relating to what is or is not occurring. So now, how do we live the E4 day to day as a daily spiritual practice? So no matter what is occurring in your life, life happens, right? You turn on social media and it's something dark or just like disturbing, or you might get a text or an email, or you're in the traffic out there in the world. And so you really want to practice the E4 on a day-to-day, breath by breath moment, right? So remembering the 4 E's again. So something may occur, right? Maybe you're in traffic and someone just flips you off on the freeway or something, and it's like, whoo, let me just experience this, right? Without putting meaning on it. Let me just become totally present in the breath. Let me practice non-resistance and not put meaning on it. Like all people are creeps, human beings suck, right? Whatever it may be, but just experience it as the witness that you are. Or say a family member, sent you a text that felt a little off or something like that. Again, we want to practice the 4 E's. So just fully experiencing it, right? The second E is evaluation. So not evaluating it, not putting meaning on it, not attaching, resistance to it, any of that. And the third E is emotions. Allow whatever emotions are coming through. Remember, allow the emotion to actually birth more of your truth. I'm somebody that doesn't like when somebody communicates this particular way. Okay, that means I am going to put myself in environments, or I'm going to communicate how I choose to, create my world into existence, right? So we want to experience it. We want to evaluate, which means no evaluation, no meaning, no attachment, no backstory, no, making up all the stories around it, right? Then the 30 is emotions. We want to just fully feel it. Allow the emotions to come through, not spiritually bypassing or emotionally bypassing, but feeling the feelings, allowing them to come through as the wisdom. It's emotions. Remember, emotions are coming through because it's wisdom from your higher self guiding you to live your truth, your relative truth, and in the oneness. And then the fourth E is enlightenment. What insight did this emotion come that just came through me, or this upset, or what happened? What did I didn't like in the external world? What is the enlightenment? What's my revelation around it? And what do I want to declare for myself in this divine moment? So I use E4 all day long, right? It's like constantly, because we're human beings. We're perfectly imperfect. And it's easy to feel all zen when I have my meditation in the morning, or I'm barefoot on, the beach, swimming in the turquoise water these days. But it's more challenging as the day goes on, or there's things that happen in business or, with personal relationships. And I mean, the good thing is I rarely get upset in most of my relationships. I have very healthy, best friends, and, there's not a lot of upsets going on occasion though, and so when there is a big upset for me, I really listen. And it's not like, wow, this is coming out of trauma, because it's not anymore. But I may have a big upset, and it means this is not my truth. This is telling me that this situation or this relationship or whatever it is teaching me what is my truth. And I'm going to declare something massive out of that, because it's very rare that I get upset. So if I am upset or I'm angry or I'm frustrated, I'm not going to just be used by that emotion. I'm going to definitely use that to launch myself to the next level now. Okay. So this is the deal again. Okay. I highly, highly, highly recommend to do your deep, deep inner work, doing your regression work of this lifetime and past life regressions, making sure that you master your emotional mastery and your energetic mastery, being able to really know how to do that specifically. And then manifesting your future self through E4 quantum manifesting, being able to call in that vision, being able to energize that vision, and being able to time compress. And then finally, what we're talking today is living the E4, living it as a daily spiritual practice. So it's been such an honor to deliver this to you guys. This is my baby, E4, really truly beyond my son and my grandson. E4 is something that is really the legacy that I'm leaving this lifetime. It's been such an honor to do this work, and I plan on doing it for the rest of my life. I love it so much. I have seen so many profound clients just have complete enlightenment, have their finances change, have their relationships change, have them look 15 years younger. I've seen people grow back their hair. I've seen pains in backs disappear. I've seen quantum leaps in all dynamics of people's lives. And what I know for sure is that everything is created from consciousness. So, in that, let's get to the universal law lesson of this week, which is the law of individualization. So, this law is all about shining your light bright. The truth is that you are the unique divine expression of the divine. You are the individualized expression of God's source. And just like the saying goes, the whole ocean is in the drop, and then in the drop is the whole ocean. And that's you. Everything that's happening in you is exact that's happening in the cosmos and everything. And the truth is that the most amazing thing is that you have a gift to bring to this world, and it's you. It's the most evolved, expressed, healed, empowered, enlightened you. That is the truth. And so right now I'm knowing this together. Let's take a deep breath together. Just taking a few deep breaths in, coming into that unity, letting go of the external world, taking some deep breaths, expanding the lungs fully, expanding the diaphragm fully, resetting the nervous system, coming into this oneness, this individual point. I recognize that I am the Alpha and the Omega. I recognize within me lives all of life, and this divine mind is my mind. I recognize right here that I release and know that I'm unique at the same time. I am one with everything, and I'm unique at the very same time. I release all conforming. I release anything that doesn't serve me. I am an individual. I can choose individual thoughts. I can select. I can initiate. This is the divine ideal. And I choose to shine my light bright. I choose to open my heart in with all of the gifts and all the trauma and all the intelligence and all lifetimes, and stand on the shoulders of the greats, but also know that I have a unique voice. And in knowing this for every single person right here, I recognize within me is an oracle. There is a temple, a vessel. I choose to be the channel of source, the channel of the divine. I choose to know the truth of who I am. And so I ask to be used for the highest good, for the greatest good for the all, in my unique divine expression. And so with gratitude, I open my heart and mind to the greatest vision of myself, express fully, and I say yes, because the universe only says yes. It cannot say no. It just says yes. It responds, it multiplies abundantly, it increases. I release the full expression of myself, and I say yes to life. I simply know this in the name of truth. As together we say, And so it is. Okay, you guys, if you are not already in Soulciété, you definitely want to become a founding member before the prices go up. We have an incredible program in there where you can come in and do 30-day challenges and come learn the frameworks that we do in spiritual psychology coaching and E4 and the business of coaching as well. You can rise up and come into spiritual psychology school and get certified in the SPPC program, getting certified in E4 and getting certified as a spiritual practitioner. And we do have a partner program as well, and we have people rising up, going to be teaching and leading within the school and in Soulciété and becoming amazing partners with us to bring this movement to the world. Together, we're awakening a billion people. Have a beautiful, blessed day. You can also grab the free Universal Law Calendar. Get that every week on Sunday. Come in here as well throughout the week. Listen to this podcast, watch it, get your journal out, and let's know the truth together, okay? Please subscribe, share this out with your friends so that you can all get your mind right together, okay? Have a beautiful, blessed day, and may you live your truth.